day, and that's what she does. It's our drop-off point, and she can direct.
Where is the office?
It's just straight across 3000 South, you go across 189, and it's the
Mike
first
Peterson's
building.
there.
Yeah.
So, what about, on our website, I wonder if we could get Chris to make that a little bit more clear. Like say these forms should be submitted to GDA Engineering at this address or something.
I can talk to Chris about that.
I think that would help. Just, I've been looking at that lately.
So it's just
I
on the,
think that would help.
on the webpage, just for building permits, C
Yeah.
or C.
They have all these permits and
Yeah.
stuff that make great sense, but then I'm not sure what you do with it.
That's
You
good.
can read
I
the
like
board.
that.
They aren't
Yeah.
short, right.
Yeah.
Call Eric.
I like that. We don't know what to do. That's awesome.
And I'm sure most people do, it's just me.
Yeah, and they do, they swing by my place all the time, and they'll have some issues, and so we work through them, and then, because they actually want it, do I got everything before I go submit?
I understand.
So they want to know that prior to when they
I
put it in.
understand.
But that's right where I direct them down there. Is there anything else that you guys seen on that report we need to talk about?
So how is the zone change with Mark McAllister coming? Is that a done deal, or is that a,
No, it's,
they had a public hearing
we
and
had a public hearing, and then, so now it's at planning, and planning will make a recommendation to the council.
We've had
okay.
a couple of public hearings on that.
No,
Just one?
just one public hearing, we did open it for public comment in the last meeting, so we had 2 public comments.
Is this something you guys are like working on next month, or is this
This
a
month.
ways out?
Or
Or
this month. Yeah, it'll continue to show as we go. It'll show up on the agenda.
so you don't think by next meeting you'll have a recommendation to us? Well, maybe you don't know.
I don't know, yeah, the commission will have to decide when they're ready to make a motion. We already had a motion to deny it, and it died for lack of a second, so. So we press forward.
So it sounds like it's being debated.
Reasonably debated.
Yeah, that's good, it's a big issue.
It is. Yeah. Anything else on there? You may see, you can see down there, we had a irrigation pipeline rupture on Little Sweden. We didn't issue the permit. Me and Ryan talked, we thought it was in the best interest of safety, it was in the middle of the road, that they get that fixed, so that's what happened, they just got to work, we didn't issue a permit for that.
And what was the irrigation pipeline crossing on Ranch Drive?
That
Down by
was-
the school?
Yeah, when they ran that water line down Ranch Drive, they needed to connect the irrigation line across, but we had some warranty issues. If they got close to our pipe, then there was some blame back and forth. So they wanted to wait till we were done, it was pumped up, then they would run their new line.
Irrigation line.
Correct. So Joe Gordon ran that line, not where we wanted it, but he ran it, so
That's where the road's torn up again.
that is why the road's tore up again.
Do you guys get complaints about only having planning meeting once a month? And say, for example, they miss 1 month, but the drawings are all but done, and then they gotta wait until you guys meet the following month before
Yeah,
they
so-
can dig?
So the cutoff is the first of the month.
What does that mean?
So June 1st is a cutoff for our 15th meeting.
What, yeah,
And so we have 15-day leeway. There's a bunch of folks that don't like that, but for Ryan to get and me to get through this report and review those, we have to have time to do
oh,
that.
I understand, I'm just
And so-
trying to understand the issue. So if someone comes into you June 2nd and submits plans and a check, they're not starting to build until July 20, whatever.
That's correct. However, we have made exceptions.
Do you let them start to do anything, or?
Well, what we usually do on that situation, and that's what we have on 3 farms, is the planning commission, or is it the council? We let them start.
Planning Commission.
Planning commission let them get the footings and foundations in prior to their building permit being
Is that
issued.
more of a rule of thumb or more of an exception?
It was, no good deed goes unpunished. Now we have another set of foundations going in prior to a building permit. So, yeah, it was a
Case by
good
case.
idea. I see it happening, and so it's just,
So we try to accommodate it as best we can, And so we'll have, like, last month at the planning commission, they approved, they approved a set of plans that the reviews aren't done on, but they approved it conditioned upon all the reviews getting done and corrected to try to not hold those individuals up.
So if those
But yes,
foundations,
we get those complaints.
if that foundation was poured, or the footings were poured, or whatever you just mentioned, if those are poured, and we didn't get inspected.
We did inspect.
You did?
We don't know.
That's true. We have a communication problem with our inspecting Epic
Okay.
Engineering.
Really?
Yeah,
So-
we have a CO issued that we think they issued, but we don't know. We have people in the house.
So let me ask that question, and let's say it didn't get, because it should have, would we make them x-ray it and make sure they have a foundation, or are we just gonna let them move on and?
It would be up to the inspector, but you could potentially x-ray it. A lot of times, this is a footing, so it wouldn't so much be x-raying the rebar, although that would be part of it, would be looking at the native ground and make sure that it was placed on acceptable ground, and if there's parts that weren't, you potentially have to tear it up and do it again.
And that's where I was going with it, whether, yeah, all the above.
So are we having trouble with Epic?
Yes.
Do we want to,
This week, I've taken them off. I sent them an email, they'll no longer be doing our structural reviews. We've got 3, possibly, we don't know how many more. Our structural reviews aren't getting done. So I've taken them off of doing structural review. I did call them in talking about this prior to doing that, but I've taken them off structural review. They're still doing our inspections and code check.
because GDA can't?
Correct. So, but we have outsourced already, at least one. Is that correct?
For the structure? No.
No, for for structure review.
Well, so all the structure reviews, we've got, GDA has a partner that will do all of them for, basically same cost, except they got done. We've got 2 of them back today. I emailed the guy Friday, so.
So I've directed Ryan to use that instead of, and I wrote it, Corey an email, and with lightning he's low, he might be able to keep up with his other, but it's not looking good.
So I'll bring you up also, so what you just read there, so since November, we've been asking for our bills.
Yeah.
And clarification on a big bill in November, so we did get billed until about a month ago. And so then at that point, I spent time, so we ran some stuff by Ryan, and I called up Corey, and I said, Corey, I'd like to know who authorized it, I'd like it back up to all these hours, and, to be able to explain each bill, just like we'd ask Ryan.
Yeah.
We had an appointment set for 10 o'clock, no show, no call, even after 6 months. And then I got word that one of the other partners is wondering about the bills, and he was educated that we haven't even been, called an appointment, so 2 appointments blown off, not even called, saying I'm gonna be late, nothing, they just don't even show up to go with the bills. So, at this point, I feel the council, unless I can get explanations to those bills, we're not gonna pay.
Yeah.
But I do believe there are bills that we do, for sure.
Sure, I
There's
understand.
no que- I just, at this point, 5 months later, I need to understand it.
So what do we got to do to not use them then?
We're-
Are we all but there?
We are,
Okay.
which is,
That's my language.
just gotta get Eric to send an email again.
There's a couple I's to dot and T's to cross, but we'll have an update next month.
Okay.
It's tough, it's hard.
That sounds pretty easy to me.
Well, the transition is just.
Oh, yeah.
Because we have so many projects already in the works,
Yeah.
we don't know where they're at, and we're not getting a lot of information back.
Yeah. The email is easy. There's a lot of stuff going on. I don't want to leave the people that are doing things hanging.
I understand.
Have they got employees to handle this stuff?
We don't know, we can't get them to respond.
And we even asked, to make sure that these bills come in this fiscal year, so we got 3 weeks. If they don't come in this fiscal year, it's gonna be a bigger problem for them as far as I'm concerned.
Well, that's good.
So you can see that on your report, the structural reviews are no longer happening with Epic. Down in other contacts.
Yeah.
Okay. The herbicide applicator we talked about, we're getting ready to get a new computer for planning. We've had it a couple times, just freaked me out.
No blue screens.
Freaked me out. So, we're getting close again, I don't know how long it's been, how long has it been?
3 or 4 years for you, and Lynn's been 4 years coming up on hers. And they're both refurbished to begin with.
So, I'll be looking at a new new laptop. We have no sign complaints. Want to make you aware of the June 17th pool, the announcement on the bottom for all elected officials, the dedication, ribbon cutting, or at the new pool.
We have to go?
Nope, it's an invitation. Okay? You like it?
Excellent.
Okay. Sounds good. So the Clyde residence review, did that look okay to everybody? That's just, like I said, that's just my review. GDA will still be doing that, and maybe, I think,
Is a weed plan normal?
the weed plan.
A weed plan? Yeah.
This is number 7, a weed plan will need to accompany this permit.
Yes,
That is the normal
we-
thing.
I talked to Quentin Lewis at the county, and if we put that in there, they have to go down and talk to him, and then they have a weed plan. Eric Bennett, he just sent it right to us, and he was just gonna spray. When it was a bud stage, he was gonna spray with glyphosate, and that's a weed plan.
Okay. I thought what this might mean is you've got a plot of property you're gonna build on, and it's just loaded with noxious weeds, so you have to submit a weed plan to get rid of those. But that, it's different than that.
It's different than that, yeah. Yeah, we want them to monitor it before, during, and after construction, so those three things we look at as they come in and develop. I mean, that's what happens. I mean, it's just, there's so much brought in on fill. The gravel pits are loaded with every noxious weed in the world. They bring in fill and suddenly we have it. So we try and just make them aware. The Bennett's were a classic example, he just didn't know what it was.
And he was good, right?
He was great. I went up and said, this leafy spurge is nasty. Be careful, because it'll blister your skin. And I said, just Google it. He's like, wow, I didn't even know what that stuff was. So, yeah, it's ugly. It's bad stuff. So we got a few of those that are out there that we need to rein in, so. The PA agreement, you guys sent me down to this PA agreement where they're doing a reclamation. They're trying to pipe canals. And so what they're doing is they're looking at an agreement that will close the gap of how long it takes on certain things. It's a I can't even say it. Chromatic agreement. And so it will initiate reclamation's area to be streamlined as they go through these processes. It was quite an interesting meeting. I went down to that on the first, sat down there through the bureau.
That's a statewide thing, including Wasatch County and everybody's canals.
Right, and the reason I'm sure that they sent this to us is because I responded on the canal we had filled in up in the January.
Right.
So they asked me what I do because they didn't know why I was there, so.
Very good.
I introduced them to some new language they didn't know, so, yes.
Remember correctly, for the most part, canals feeding dam irrigation is pretty much supposed to be piped from that first agreement in the 90s.
Yeah.
We got rid of that.
Well, this has SHPO in it and everything, so there's a bunch of regulatory agencies that's involved with this, and so it's, but they didn't know about return flow, flood control, none of that stuff, they don't. Yeah, it wasn't in part of that, so they're starting to work on the agreement, and we'll continue to work with them on that. UDOT's there, there's quite a few people at the table, so.
Then you have folks you work with or different folks?
No, different folks, yeah, this is Elizabeth.
Okay.
So Eric, along with the planning department, has anybody resigned? Is Gary Waite resigned?
He has not resigned. We haven't had anybody resign, but we haven't had anybody show interest in running. So we do have some folks that would probably step down if there was somebody available that wanted to be on that. You hear anybody? I keep announcing it in the meetings.
No, I
That's pretty important. Pretty important. Okay.
There's one more thing that, and maybe I need to bring it up in the water when we get to water. Matter of fact, let's do it. I think we have water on the
And this on next.
Yeah. Okay.
You know planning?
Yep.
Okay.
Are you done playing?
I am. Anybody else want to talk about planning? I'm done.
No plans.
Okay, well, let's just go into Daniel Municipal Water Matters, including discussion of assigning value to irrigation shares. That particular part was continued from last month, if we were or weren't going to do that. So, jump down over to Kim maybe first, if you have some comments, and Ryan, maybe ask you about the shares or whatnot.
If I may, what did you have, Eric?
Oh, I just have a new Senate bill that they're requiring the water company to do certain things that pass this year, Senate Bill 45.
What, let's talk about that.
Okay. Senate Bill 45 is a new maintenance and repair. Who's liable for meter on? You are now required by state law, the Senate Bill 45, that you have to notify whoever is in charge of that repair and maintenance of that line twice a year.
Clarify that again.
You have to tell, from the meter in, you have to tell the homeowner that that's their line, they're in charge of repair and maintenance of it.
So is that a letter that can go out in the bill twice a year?
That was my suggestion, that we just add it to the invoices, and so they do it every month. Be compliant with
Standard print, yeah, just leave it on the
Yeah.
bill. Yeah.
Maybe part of the standard invoice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking, but
Yeah.
it's just a new one that came through as I was reading some of the So, yeah, I guess apparently if we don't do that, they can hold us liable for it.
So,
While you're on that notification subject, I had a request from one of the residents in Storm Hanger, just to, on the water bill, also list when we have our council meetings in planning and zoning, because they say a lot of people don't have computers, they don't have access to the internet, et cetera, et cetera. It was only a request. I told them that I would mention that to the council. And that falls right in with what you were talking about, maybe putting it on the bill. But
Is
the
that-
trouble with that is you have to redo the date. It's
Yes.
not gonna be the same all the time. It's not like making a statement and letting it flow.
Yeah.
It is in the newspaper, but
And,
people
yeah,
don't take papers.
yeah, and once a year we run that notice to the public for the whole year.
It's in every.
It's in every issue.
Yeah, but we do the
Maybe-
notice for the whole year.
maybe once a
Maybe,
year.
maybe what we do is we include that schedule, that annual schedule, in one of the water bills, like January or
Oh.
July.
Probably
Boom.
suffice.
There it is. You put
First of
it
the
on
year?
the fridge.
So I know we had some issues last time, we notified certain folks without notifying everybody. What's your feelings on that, John?
I think we gotta be really careful.
Because you have water people that are on our water system and a lot of folks that aren't.
Yeah. I think we
Hold on,
just
hold on.
gotta be careful how we do it.
Yeah, because I'm not on the water system, so if I don't
You'd
have a
never know.
computer and I don't read the paper, how am I supposed to know these things?
And I'm not on the water.
How are we supposed to
Lynn's not on
know
the
these
water.
things? Gosh, someone's supposed to.
You're not on the water.
Kim will come over and tell us.
Okay, I'm good, yeah,
Got me right over.
ride your horse.
I just know last time, John. that was an
Yeah,
issue.
we gotta be careful, I didn't even think of it. And I
Now,
don't
why
think
do
I
we have
did
to
the
be
first
careful,
time.
John?
Just notifying some people and not everybody.
If you put
Because,
it in the water bill, then I would get a notice.
you know, somebody might not find out.
Yep, but we're really trying to notify everybody as we can. So,
But better than nothing, is what I'm
better
saying.
than
Yeah. The issue we're talking about though is the home businesses, right? We had some, we asked some business owners to come, and we didn't ask everybody. So we gotta be really careful that we don't develop something
Well,
like that.
These are customers that are just saying that we want to be able
Yeah.
to put our input in.
Yep,
And-
I
And we
understand.
don't read the paper and we don't have a computer. It'd be nice to have it in water bill.
I
I
understand.
don't think we get in trouble, so.
And that one was, you know, I can see a difference between the notification of everybody and how we went to that little issue, you know, public hearing with an important issue versus the standard information. That's not really terribly strong worded for anything, it's just to let them know. But,
Something to think about though today.
And we could, well, it's a computer, I was gonna say, put it on the website, not
That is-
at,
Again, it's
There is a-
get the same.
Isn't there a phone number they can call, ask when it is anyway? You can just put on the,
I don't know, is there a phone, how could they get the phone number though?
I mean, if it's on the water bill.
Well, there you go, but I don't
if
get
you
a water
don't
bill.
wanna
I
pay
wouldn't
attention,
know.
you're never gonna pay attention, if you do wanna pay attention, you're gonna pay attention, and that's
Exactly,
just
just
Yeah.
gotta take some responsibility.
a little bit.
And then we see
Yeah.
that down here.
What?
then we see them show up.
Well, that'd be nice, they can show up,
That's it.
be good.
If they wanna know, they
Do
can.
they show up?
Probably not.
Okay.
Well, and that's what we had last time, everybody that wasn't a business owner would suddenly say, we need to get a special letter. Why you just don't notify them? So, Gary will say the same thing, no, you know, I need to
Yeah,
notify.
I think we gotta be.
Yeah,
You only want your water users there?
Yeah, but there you're making changes in the town. This is just simply a notification.
That's true. This is when the meeting
I still love the difference between what we had experienced versus just having a message on the bill.
Well, I don't, personally, I don't have an issue with it at all. I think the more the merrier, I don't care who I send it to. So,
is. Just another mechanism to communicate.
yeah, it's
Somebody
just,
might see.
We're
I
trying. all
never
we can.
thought for a moment
Maybe
that that was
100%
even
on
come up,
everything.
but it did come up. So
Yeah.
that's why I bring it up.
Yep,
I never thought for a moment that that would be an issue.
yep.
No.
Okay,
But the
so where we
notice-
stand on that then?
But the notices that was, I mean, the people, the businesses wasn't contacted by the town representatives.
That's true too.
So what, that has nothing to do with the town.
That was a private citizen.
That was a private citizen that called all the, every one of the business owners. That wasn't nothing to do with, it was nobody on the council. It was
And we-
nobody on the
We posted
planning.
normally, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, that was just a private citizen. The letters that went out to other people was from the town, right? So,
No, I think that was private also. It was a person on the council, but I believe that was private also, wasn't it?
but the first one was not. The town,
Second notice to all the other two.
Did I send out letters?
Family went.
I walked a lot around, I don't
I
know.
was gonna say,
if
but the ones that,
Yeah, I don't
that
know.
was not anything from the town, so
I
that's
just
not
know
even
we got-
close to the same town.
If we can't do all of them, we might as well do none. That kind of thing, but I think if you try and get everybody, at least you tried. I mean, you're not going to, but I get, someone will be offended. Someone can use it as a tool that, I didn't get that, I'm sure.
Well, you can come in with our not any members of our town. Protest.
Yeah, if we turn off their water Sunday night till Monday at the meeting, they'll all be here.
We just thought you'd get your attention.
Go out the megaphone.
So, yeah, I agree. Personally, I don't have an issue with that. I just assume my neighbors show up and say, hey, something's going down, you wanna come to the meeting and be a voice in that? I mean, I get that all the time. Come with me to Heber City, let's look at this meeting, I mean,
Well,
How would
I
that-
just passed off
No,
that
they just fine.
concern the citizen had, so you guys can do what you want.
I hate to ask a name, Kim, but is Dinga involved in that conversation?
Yes.
Okay, because she actually said that they have a little neighborhood website that she sent all that information out. So,
But they don't do computers.
again, that's a private citizen doing,
Neighborly thing.
Neighborly.
yeah. So, where they spend town funds, I guess, is where we run into problems.
And offending somebody by saying hello to them.
Well, that letter on the schedule is produced no matter what. So you might have 2 cents a copy and it's 50 copies. Other than that, you're gonna be putting a stamp on it to send the bill out anyway. So I don't know if there's an argument there for
Extra cost.
the extra cost. Well, you've got the labor to fold the paper and put it in the envelope. I don't know. I just thought I'd mention that. Pass it on as a concern customer.
I guess noted and taken. What else? Storm main. Or no? What else? Municipal water.
Well, we had a connection into the 3 Farms subdivision, and that went well. We had to go into the 10-inch line and look into an 8-inch line and service 3 houses. And everything was done to plan and spec.
Great.
A little encouragement.
And I believe that the data line has been hung on the pump house, off the ground, so
It's off the ground now?
I believe so.
Good.
It took 3 times to schedule it, but it has been. I'm pretty sure, I haven't been up to look, but I was told. So I'm saying yes.
I got data through it this morning, so whether it's on the ground or not, it's
Still
functional.
Okay.
Lynn, I don't know what to do with this hot potato, but I'm looking at Lynn because we have this software that builds out the water, and it's called Polaris. And I was talking with the salesman with Master Meter, which is the water meters that do the radio reads. And he says, you guys have got this billing all complicated. What you need to do is this. And I think he's right. And I don't see where it's gonna change any of the monthly costs. But why we were doing it the other way, I have no idea, and I am not an IT guy at all. So before we jump here, I don't know what
So
to
are
do.
you saying that Polaris can take care of a lot of that data?
Yeah, and what it does is it stops a lot of steps that we're doing twice. Over on my end, over at Kathy's end.
Right.
And it just all of a sudden starts to,
Repetitive, duplicated?
yeah. So, I don't know what really to do with. In my opinion, I don't know why Master Meter would send us that direction if in fact it was not the thing to do.
I think that's probably true. Kathy Jo has told me of your meeting with the master meter guy and the conversation, and it sounds like she's ready to go the way he recommends. Whether she's had any discussion with the Polaris people yet or not, I don't know, but,
How about the discussion with Mr. Anderson?
you know.
I don't know.
So it basically would cut out what he does in the process at this point. And I think if you simplify anything, it's better.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris doesn't bill us on a monthly basis. I don't think he's dependent on the town's income to him in any way, shape, or form. I think anything he does for Daniel is,
He just wants to be helpful, great,
Yes.
to be there if we need him, but if not, he's probably happy that we.
and any IT questions he certainly fields, but I don't think he would have a problem if this simplifies the whole system
Okay.
of cutting him out.
And in this particular case too, where I didn't mention it to him in a timely manner on something previous, I probably want to mention it to him when he gets back off his mission. If we are going to change it without, I mean, if it's not going to affect him, then it doesn't matter, but if it is going to affect him, then I'll probably want to tell him, because I didn't say something one time and
Well,
I should have.
I don't think it will either, but there's always that unknown. I hate to have,
I think it's worth having a conversation with him as soon as possible, because the sooner we can get this worked out, the better.
Okay, so I'll make a note, 'cause I mean, he's still answering his phone, I'd imagine, so I'll just call him and.
Wait a minute, is he on mission?
You know, yep, he's up at Desert Livestock on a handcar mission for the summer.
Really?
Yep.
So let me have a conversation with Kathy Jo and see
Okay.
how far she's gone on it, and then we can let you know
Answer
what
my
you need
calls.
to tell him.
Yeah.
Yeah, increased my mailbox size and.
He is still working, yes.
Lynn,
I'll figure that.
I wonder if it would be a good idea if Chris had a conversation with the master meter salesman, Ted Curl.
After your step, that'd be an excellent step probably, because then he can direct, I mean.
But I don't know what that conversation would be when Ted's feeling is, we don't need what you're doing, let's just go right to the software.
Yeah, and then he says, I agree,
Oh, okay, just for him to explain in detail,
IT to IT.
yes, I can see that.
I think Chris would be like, I mean, if it made sense to him, except for the money. I know money would maybe not be making sense, but everything else might make sense to him, except for the cost.
Do you want me to have that, instigate that?
Since you've been in the conversation already, I think that would be beneficial if you don't mind. Okay.
I'll go for it.
Okay,
That's all I have for Dan.
And Stormhaven both?
No.
Okay. So that's Daniel. Check.
We got a call last week and there was sewer smell up in the neighborhood. And we went up and there was sewer smell definitely. And we popped a sewer lid. The sewer's down in there about 10 feet, 11 feet, but it was full of raw sewer. So we got a hold of the pipe cleaning fellows. They use jets and cameras and all kinds of equipment. And they came up and they tried to get me down through the manhole and made about 120 feet and hit a clog. So we went down, we pulled the lid on the lower septic tank, sent it back up through about 300 feet and they hit another clog. And these 2 points are 120 feet apart. But we went back up, tried a different jet, which is on the nozzle on the end of the hose, and sent it down through, and it got hung up, couldn't get it back out. So we undone that hose, went back in the septic tank, tried to get up through again, through the blockage at 300 feet, so that we could get the jet out above them. We couldn't get through. But from both ends, hitting it with different heads and what was going on, we finally did get the one that was hung up out. And then we went down to see if we were getting any flow at all through these lines. We were a little concerned that we might have made everything worse. And luckily we were. And the smell went away. We know we have some problems in those two areas, but
Pipes.
it's a clog, it could be a broken pipe, and it is in the middle of the street. And it's 11 feet down.
Wow.
But right now, I'm in a hold position. I'm just going to see if the manhole fills back up again or if that smell comes back. So that's where we're to there.
So when you said you're on the second clog, you finally got it, so it was drained past that second clog, it's still kind of clogged, but at least it's passing through kind of type thing?
No, we didn't make it through.
Different line?
Both of them still held, so but I think just getting the pressure from both sides helped loosen things up for now. Okay, here comes the good one.
Hold on, Kim, are you leading that subject?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm with it.
I have a question on that one.
What is that?
What is our responsibility, what's the town's responsibility with the sewer up there?
We gotta keep it functioning.
100%.
We own it.
We own it.
The sewer and the water came together.
It's a septic tank, so not, the sewer's going to the septic tank.
Some
Okay.
days it's hard to tell which one.
That day, we spent probably $3,000. I was up there 7 hours. We still have a problem, I think. But it's a problem that didn't happen yesterday. It's been there for years.
You think more than a rut, or you, like you said, you just don't quite know?
But we don't know. Until we get the backhoe out, we don't know. And I hope we don't have to get the backhoe out.
You're 120 feet apart.
And 11 feet deep?
Big trim.
Under a road.
We have a new flip one.
Okay, you've got 18 users on that line, and they're paying $12 a month for sewer?
16.
16. Wow, we spent the entire budget
On that.
on
5
that.
years.
On that. And I'm not so sure we're not gonna be back up there 2 weeks from now. I'm not so sure that we're not gonna be digging it up. How do you tell these people that we gotta raise their sewer rates?
You let it back up.
I mean, thank you, Eric, 'cause that's fine, I mean, you know, they're gonna wanna pay to keep that clean. They're just like, I would look at Timber Lakes, the special assessment on getting, when they had to do their water. No one liked that special assessment, but they got it.
All the Billy Brothers system, same thing.
All the bill, they leaned all their properties for the Billy Brother, no one liked that. So, I mean, that's probably the worst option, but that's
I
not an
think we just
option.
conform them.
Well, we can't get grants either, according to Ron. Ryan, why don't you step in here on the grant thing if you would, please?
You're doing a great job, I don't know why you're not. You don't need my help.
So we're not gonna get grants at $18 or $20 a month. The state has, well, the same reason we won't get water is the state has what they call a hardship level, and it's 1.8 and 1.5% of the median gross adjusted income. And so they've allowed us to use the CDBG study that was better than our zip code as far as a lower MAG. But
Talk about the survey, the income
yeah,
survey?
the income survey. So even if we use that number, 1.5% of that works out to about $45 a month. So until we get our sewer rates to $45 or $50 a month, we're not gonna qualify for that. And until we get our water rates up to, I think it was $68 or $70 a month, getting a grant is gonna be, CDBG is an exception, but beyond that, it's gonna be an uphill battle.
Well, I have to be informed.
And when we last did it, we did that presentation before on the system, and, when we took it over and we raised the rates from what they were to what they are, we talked about that, this isn't gonna get us where we need to be, but it's a pretty healthy chunk. And then we're gonna need to have some other pretty healthy chunks in the future. And I think this might be a good reason to start talking seriously about that next step. The sewer system in particular, the biggest problem it suffers from is the 18 or 19 users. You take a moderate monthly, bill and you multiply it by 19, you don't get very much. You take the water system, you multiply by 60 or 150, and you start to get somewhere. So, I think raising the bill is going to be needed at a bare minimum. I don't know that a special assessment of some kind is going to be required as well, because there's some fairly significant improvements that are going to need to be made in the fairly near future.
That'll bring them to the meeting.
Well, send out a notice to have a meeting about this.
And another situation, Eric needs a weed sprayer, and it's gonna get used, and it's an absolute, you got to, and I think it's wonderful. But if I knew that I was gonna be up there jetting this line, or 2 other lines, every month, I could come to council saying, will you guys, give me $32,000 so I can go buy the jet rig?
Cheap jet rig.
Dude, you wanna do that?
No.
That's a shitty job.
But that may make sense.
First of all, for the 18 connections, you just gotta keep with the people that have the equipment, they maintain it, they come in with the insurance, they have it covered, So, I just bring that up because this is really tough. It's that we've really picked up a hornet's nest here, and yet we still want to try and, service the people of Dayton. We really do. But if someone gets mad and says, I'm gonna put in my own sewer system, my own septic tank and drain field, Ryan tells me that they have that down to such an art that you could put them in up there, even though you're next to the creek. And you can still make it work. So they have that option too. But the more people that come off the system, the better. Well, no, it puts the other people in more of a pickle.
Why?
Instead of multiply by 18,
Oh,
multiply by
okay,
5.
right, okay.
I don't have any idea
Not a
what
monthly
their
value.
system's about. I have no idea.
But
he
the
does.
usage goes down, so that helps. There are benefits.
With the fees, yeah.
With the fees, yeah.
Yeah, but the problem is what we're talking about, the collection network and the pumping and those, the fixed costs are not changing. So if instead of 19, we have 10 or 12, the fixed costs are not gonna drop proportionally.
So,
As long as they drop off from the top down, and they have to replace that.
If they dropped off from the top down, then maybe it would work.
so if there was maybe a meeting called for the put in so that they can be informed of the options, either get in there, is a Roto-Rooter, is that jet is better than a,
Problem is, it doesn't fix the problem.
doesn't fix the problem. So, it's it has to be presented to them, you know, either everybody goes on their own private septic tanks and put them in at their expense, or combined, they need to have this one fixed.
Well, in terms of one, if it happens once a year, we can live with that. If it happens 4 or 5 times a year, we can't live with that.
Well, you don't have a budget to support it for one thing.
Well, right, so we don't have a budget, but then if we knew it ahead of time that we're having more and more, then, you know, within that 1 year that we had the most, then we would start working in that budget for the next one and then have to, but that would probably be up to you, when, if and when, either we need to do rates and or fix the section.
We need to do the rates right away.
It's only gonna become more,
You have
The
to
issue's
do
only
the
gonna get
rates
worse.
right away,
Okay.
because if I have to go up there next week, technically, we don't have the money.
So if they got the rates raised up to the $50 a month, then they possibly could get a grant to help fix this problem.
then we can start talking about grants to start to fix
Showing that they
the known
can
issues.
move that long.
And I think this is the kind of a meeting that needs to be held with the people who are on that system.
Well, there are some different rigs we can try to bring up that can clean. I mean, I know, it said $30,000, I think the last one we worked with was, I think he said the truck was like 1.2 million. But it'll go through it'll either destroy the pipe or move the clog, one of the two. But one way or the other, it doesn't stop for much.
So that's the option,
But-
after we plug it in.
But they
Or
also,
after we fill it.
but they're also not cheap. I mean, the guys you've got coming are a bargain compared to what that $1 million truck cost to mobilize.
Is this the guy, Casey? Referred us to when you got up to it?
I don't know where we picked these guys up, but we used them last year. They are a Roto-Rooter, the commercial.
I don't think that's who he suggested. He had somebody to do it for $150.
Who did?
Marsco something.
Have you been able to get a camera down the line to even see what the problem is?
Usually up to this point,
We
we
can
have.
get it down to 100 feet, but then we get into water. And we pump the manhole out and fill the line up before we can get the camera in. There are certain lines up there that we have run a camera in, and we know what the problems are and we know where they're at. But with this particular line, we haven't been able to get the camera where we need it.
Multiple problems and
Yeah.
X amount of feet of line.
So we know we have bellies.
It dips.
At a minimum, we know we have bellies that makes the camera, I mean, you can get the camera through it, but it doesn't tight, I mean, you don't
Tell
see
you what the
anything.
belly's got, if it's costing by a
Yeah,
break.
So you know it's a belly, but figuring out why is
The solids
challenging.
will eventually plug that belly and then the fluid will get through.
Are we having issues with things that maybe shouldn't be going there? Is that any of the problems?
Oh, yeah, we really need to put a letter out that says, here's the 10 commandments of the septic tank.
Because
Here's what you don't put down. But see, they're like the rest of us. I think we've all had kids that are putting stuff in the toilet,
Yeah.
and flushing, and we're wondering, what was that went down the toilet?
a couple of
Well, it
labels.
was the big rubber Gucci woman, you know, and that thing don't disintegrate for 35 years, 1,000 years.
Well, I think there's probably a little, I mean, you got those people on the line, I think there's a little responsibility that, you know, I mean, I'm sure some may not care about what they put down there, and I'm sure maybe some do, but, you know, if you're not caring and you're causing the system for the town, that's kind of a problem.
Well, tonight I'd like to see the town council get serious about raising rates as quick as possible. And then the other stuff, I have no idea when it's coming at us. We're just gonna have to deal with it the best we can.
So is it something like you see rates on next agenda? Discussion and something? And if so, is that something you can get ready by next month?
We've got to have a public meeting to raise those.
I believe so. I don't know if there's a lot that I need to do to get ready.
Once it's presented, you're gonna have to, for sure. Well, you know, up to the point of when we come, try to get that dollar figure, I don't know what we do, but
Well, I
Before
think
we adopt the
that's-
rate.
Yeah, I mean, that's the point that's gonna be made to everybody, that they've gotta raise the rates up to that height in order to get a grant. What do you wanna do? Do you wanna pay this up
Well,
front, get it done, or
we
do you
did
wanna?
we did take the budget to 20 grand, right? Storm
Yes.
Haven,
The what now?
The budget.
All right.
We've got a few pumps.
So I think next month, if we wanted to do the public hearing and bring them in, we need to have a map of the system as best we understand it, with a list of the things that we know are wrong, and a list of the things we think are wrong, and the cost to replace it, because that's ultimately where we're going.
Yes.
And if we can talk, that'll be a big scary number, and from there we can talk about what to do.
Do you have an engineer's estimate?
I don't, but I can get one. I mean, I know the linear foot of pipe, at least based on the map we have, which, I don't know, I guess it's the best map we've got. And so based on the map we have, I can put together an engineer's estimate, but I don't have one right now.
You'll have one by next meeting.
I will have one by next meeting.
Okay.
Well, the water scared everybody at 2 million dollars, so this won't be, it won't be $3 million, but it's gonna be a lot. Divided by 19 is gonna be
Yeah.
a whole lot.
That, or
So-
get
so-
off, shut the whole system down and everybody go private.
It's an option. we
And
should
that's
talk
an
about.
option that needs to be presented. Here's your option.
What happens, you've got 2 more lots up there, what happens if one of those lots wants to run the existing sewer?
You can.
They can.
Don't we have a moratorium up there?
Yeah.
Some
On
water.
water, but the
Oh,
sewer,
on water.
but we can't hook anybody else on there. They don't allow that system anymore.
I don't think we need to worry about, unless it was a historic connection, so that one new house that came in was, that had a connection that we had on the trailer for years, and so it was just a reconnect. But I don't think the state law won't allow us to connect anyone new.
Oh, good, good, it's the first time it's worked.
Every now and then, the state law works for us.
So for next meeting, then maybe you could have some numbers and we could present it, and then call it a public meeting after that, would be what? Another,
You want to do, so next month we'll present what I found, and then August we'll do the,
is that soon enough for you? Does that council sound good to that? Yes, Mark?
What is the cost for the newer system that could go on an individual lot?
What he's gonna come up with by next meeting?
I'll bring that number too. I don't know, it's been a long time since I've worked on one.
Don't they have to be at least 10 grand?
Yeah.
12,
The 10 to 12, I was.
And this is one of the state
just 20.
monitors and.
county.
Yeah.
Our county has a rigid,
You're there.
more than the state. County is monitored, requirements are more than the state.
On those septic tanks, because our water systems, they get monitored, they get monitored by a county official come out and monitor them. Then they know how much water you're using, how much
So they're
So
not-
that's a big expense, right? Those homes up there aren't just gonna, well, I don't know, but come up with 10 grand for that. It's a shock.
Well, that's
Big deal,
that's
yeah.
an option.
But there's 12,
But I-
that's how many, 12 people?
No, 19?
18.
So
No,
have
18,
the-
okay,
have the
18.
rate go up to $50 a month, might be a lot better than trying to.
No, I think we need to look at what the cumulative cost of fixing the system is versus, I mean, if we ask for an assessment of $15,000, or you could put your own in for 10, I know what I do.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's how the
They
numbers work
did
out. Yeah, I think it would be great if that's the way it went, that would
We
be
may have our
great.
own grant program.
I thought, would one of the individual systems be able to
No, no, no.
be big enough to service 2 homes at a time, so maybe they could split some of the cost between 2 homes? I mean, because I know there's some big homes on an individual system.
So,
You know, that's
so I'll
something that's an option.
answer that question officially next month, it's a sticky issue.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, and then the last thing I've got is, I had 2 backflow reads up there, the first of this month. And, pardon me?
Yeah, Storm Haven.
Storm Haven. And,
Yeah, full reads.
I really can't get to the bottom of them. I think one of them, because it's a smaller one, it's 10 goes, and then 10 comes back. And the reason why it's 10 gallon, is that's what it reads. If it was 7, it'd be 10.
Correct.
If it was 19, it'd be
One is
10.
10.
It rounds. That one is a pressure type deal. I've got that one kind of figured out, I think, because it comes off the hill. But on the very end of the line, there was one, and it had a report of like 960 gallons of that.
Wow.
So I'm asking this person, you know, if he has a well, or if he's tied into the irrigation. He's no. And the only way I know to get to the bottom of that problem is we have to put a resetter on the existing setter that has a backflow. That way, it won't come back, period. It won't.
Our new meters don't have that, huh?
All of the resets that we put in there, there were about 14, they did. All of the other existing ones did not.
We replaced the meters, we didn't redo the setters. So where we installed resetters, we put in a check valve, but where we were able to reuse the setter, we didn't. So, but I would argue our backflow program's working. If we detected the problem, now we just need to deal with it.
That's close.
Now, it could be that we put backflow on those 2 meters and it moves to another meter. So, because,
Yeah.
Well, so pressure, you know, the first one, I agree with you. If they've got a pressure tank in their house, then the water just, you know, sloshes back and forth as the pressure changes in the system. But 960 gallons isn't going backwards from their house.
And if he's at the end of the line, how do you get 960 gallons flown back?
good question.
There's gotta be a source, doesn't there?
I would think.
There's a Y in there somewhere taking us somewhere else.
So at the end of that system, the irrigation pressure is about 20 pounds higher than the culinary. Not saying that's it, but that's, the fact is that irrigation water would flow the right direction. So if you.
Well, what would be my next step there? Do I have to get a warrant and the sheriff and go up there and say, I'm coming in your basement and we're looking things over, I'm gonna search your yard?
Really, you could just turn that setter off, pull the meter, see if there's water back feeding. If there's water back feeding, then there's an issue. The water's off.
Go shut his water off tomorrow and see if he calls you. If he doesn't, then he's got water coming from somewhere else.
Yeah, if he never calls, he never calls.
And then you can say, oops, wrong valve.
You guys are a big help.
Lots of options.
I think, Kim, you should do it your way. Just call the sheriff, go up, check everything.
Well,
Go have
what's gonna happen is, by the way, these resetters aren't cheap, they're $300 a piece. But what's gonna happen is we're gonna go up there and put those in installed, because we have to protect the system.
Yeah, but they make the little one, right? You can put on the setter comes up.
It's a 9-incher.
Yeah.
That's the smallest you can get. Well, unless you special order, and then you're $600.
Yeah.
Now, there could be in the 1 meter box, this will, you don't have to do this detail. Never mind.
Either way, we ought to get to the bottom of it, because I agree with you, we can't have that backflow like that.
So you can talk after, is the homeowner uncooperative?
Pardon me?
Is the homeowner uncooperative?
No.
Because if he's drinking irrigation, I mean, if I was drinking irrigation water, I'd want to know.
Especially if it's got
I truthfully believe the guy. I don't have the answers. I truthfully just believe the guy. I said, do you have a well? He says, yeah. He says, we've got a community well up here. I said, oh, I'm familiar with that. You have your own personal well. And I don't think, looking at the annual irrigation maps of that area, that there is irrigation up there.
Anyway, let's look at it.
And he's not asking for credits now, since.
So how's that 960 gallon doing that? I have no idea.
Is it an error in our meter by chance?
No, I
No?
don't think so.
Yeah, there's a chance.
It's not where I would go first.
No.
I mean,
These meters are amazing, I can't believe it. You can actually isolate a meter.
Get 2 or 3
Use
more
the
to do this, we don't need a big
and it
tank.
starts to give you a readout every hour. How many gallons in an hour?
I own a house on that system.
Just one
irrigation higher.
10 features.
Not that
I don't know, yeah.
Okay.
I'm done.
Okay, any comments on storm Haven?
Just on the water, yeah, in general, I got the report. Chlorine residual says absent.
Certainly we should.
Well,
We never put it in.
turn it over, send that to my whole.
And I believe most, they always have, haven't they? Previous tests for previous months, I believe absent is normal. So they want to know, what they're testing there is to know that you're not dosing, you know? You didn't go take your sample and put some bleach in there. Just to make sure it came out clean.
Chlorine residual total absent.
So I will go back and pull the other ones. I believe they've all, that even the municipal has been absent. And by the time, you know, the .2 or .3, by the time we get it in the jar, takes it down to the lab, it's gone.
Yeah, but you have to have some there to test, and you have to be residual.
But we can test, so when we test out the source, that's different. This is the lab sampling the jar when they do their test within 24 hours. So when we test at the sample point, we're getting a residual, not much, but a residual, .2, .3.
So this would be at the end of the.
I was just gonna say, at the end, that's when you really, if we're not gonna have it, it's gonna be at the end if they're not.
Well, but we,
Right, which means you have to kick it up if there's not.
Another take, yeah.
So this one was 1891 less 2,005, which is the invoices.
right, county building, because we don't have to go knock on doors.
Okay,
I will check, but
just in case you didn't think I read the report.
I believe that we're testing, you know, that it has, when we test it coming out of the tap, it has, it's just a sample by the time it gets to the lab.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. So 11, discussion of employee salaries, as mentioned kind of earlier. That was also continued, I believe, from last month. That discussion, I think this line item, we sort of discussed today, but we are going to need to make some decisions on that here shortly. And I don't know about tonight what we're going to discuss. I just know it's newer employees and just our whole program. So I'd like maybe a little direction on when and how we want to go about discussing that, because we probably need to get it done here shortly as well.
How about comparing our town to other towns of similar, like Charleston and Independence and Interlochen, and see what they pay their employees? And maybe there's some other similar ones in the valley, I don't know of any, but there must be towns of similar size, and see what everybody pays, and then make the appropriate adjustments.
And that's kind of what I would think, if we can get 5 comparables of small towns that are 1,000, 1,500 people and find out where they're at, that would give us at least parameters.
A range, so then you can make a decision, an educated decision, well, they're paying this here, and,
Here's Heber Cities.
oh.
Here's Midway.
I was gonna say, I need somebody to have it somewhere.
This is the planners in the state of Utah.
What?
Planners in the state of Utah. I want you to recognize Robert Snell there.
Robert McDonald?
No,
Oh, Robert Allen?
yeah, Bob Allen.
Bob Allen.
That's one we've been sitting through the meetings with.
Yeah.
I think beyond just salary, we need to compare, you know, our people do everything. And we need to compare what the expectations of that particular job are and what salary is and what the required qualifications are. I don't know that we can just compare salaries and say that that's a good comparison.
Only the fact though that duties, so our town has more duties than other clerks. So we, like you said, we're carrying multiple hats. A lot of these places only have, well, then you saw one that was just a planner, they had a clerk, and then they, not a planner, a clerk, they had a clerk and then a recorder, and, you know, so those two people are getting separate wages versus Lynn's doing everything.
Yeah, and I, again, that comes back to a size thing. You know, I don't know how many thousand people, towns have a clerk and a recorder. Maybe they do.
I think a lot do what we do in our size.
I think we just need to gather a lot more information.
So, you said job duties.
Job duties, required skills, and education. I mean, if we're gonna pay a guy $156,000, they need to have some skills.